Hey, what's up, guys? We're live. Yeah, so I don't know if this chick is gonna come. It's like already 5 minutes after starting time, and I haven't heard from her in 24 hours. So hopefully she still comes. Hopefully it's just whatever. She's just having tech issues. But it's not looking promising, which fucking sucks. You know what's funny? Her opener, because she messaged me because I had a on TikTok. I had a post that said like debate me, and she opened me with "I won't back down, no worries." Like this is a literal like "I won't back down, no worries." That was the opener. Uh, so that's just kind of funny. But again, maybe it's just a misunderstanding because she is in a different time zone. So maybe I don't know. I mean, yeah, like I confirmed the time. We said 4 p.m. EST. So yeah, maybe she just got I don't know. Maybe she had a mix up with the time zones. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'll keep checking my phone during this to see if she responds. But my gut feeling is no, but we'll see. Yeah, fucking disappointing. I was kind of looking forward to another debate. But don't worry, there's plenty more people who are trying to debate me, I think, on TikTok. Well, most of them are just talking shit in the comments, but I think there's some that are going to come through. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so my plan was to do a debate, but I guess that's not happening. So I guess I will do like a Q&A or something for like half an hour. I don't know. I could have just, I guess, like canceled it, but then I feel like I would just leave everyone hanging. So I would feel bad doing that. So yeah, I guess let's just go through some questions. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. I was look, I was really looking forward to it. I woke up extra early, got my coffee. I was really prepared. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I'll just go through whatever questions you guys have. So feel free to ask me anything for the next hour. You can ask me literally anything and I'll help you. Uh, yeah. So I messaged her about that. She asked if she could stay private. So yeah, I'm just going to respect her wishes on that. She doesn't really have content. She's not really a content creator. She more does like, I don't know, homemade videos of her playing with cats and shit. So, yeah, there's not like she doesn't really have any content, if that makes sense. Okay, what else do we have? Someone says, uh, that sucks though. We generally didn't take her for the flaky type. Yeah, I know, especially given the fact that she opened me with, I'm not going to back down. Okay. Maybe chicken dinner can replace the TikToker. Yeah, no, he's like a massive fucking troll slash loser. Alex, do you believe in God? I don't know. I'm agnostic. What's her IG? We'll message her. Okay. There we go. How many? With some people are asking like, what's her name? I was even though she flaked, I'm not gonna like dox her or whatever. Like whatever. Maybe she got nervous. Maybe she got cold feet. Yeah, I'm not gonna like reveal her info or anything like that. Whatever. How many women do you sleep with per week on average nowadays? Not that many. Maybe one. I don't know. One or two. Yeah. Well, depends if we include my girlfriend or not. But if we don't, probably like like two or three new ones a month, probably. I would say is more or less. Hey Alex, what are the best dating apps? I like older women. Love your content. What are the best dating apps? I think Bumble and Hinge are probably the better ones, although they've banned me from them. Yeah, so I would say Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. Those are the ones I recommend. What's a good response if a girl says, "I want to get to know you more in here when you try to close from online"? I would just reply with, "Okay, what would you like to know?" Something like that. Is there a big name SJW left you? Yes, me and Vosh are setting up a debate. Let me actually see if he emailed me back because we were emailing back and forth, and maybe it'll be official. No, he still hasn't responded. I'm trying to set up with Vosh. He has a pretty popular channel for Tuesday evening, so hopefully he confirms. Do you watch UFC? Yeah, once in a blue moon. How do you feel about keto? I like the keto diet. I follow a variation of that personally. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Do you think sexualizing over text is the optimal strategy, or do you mostly do it to screen girls? Uh, a little bit of both. It just really depends on the situation. Whether I think the girl is, you know, gonna be down to be sexualized. DTS. I don't know. Like some chicks, you kind of get a vibe that if you sexualize too much, they're just gonna like disappear or ghost or whatever or bitch about it. So it really depends on the chick that I'm talking to, on her profile, on the vibes I'm getting from her. That's probably the biggest one is like, yeah, because I always sexualize very gradually. So I'll start with like throwing some feeler texts out there and I just kind of seeing how she responds to them can be pretty indicative. I'm just going to keep checking my phone to see if this chick responds because I'm still hoping that she shows up. What is your favorite place to practice cold approach? I don't know, like a nice big open bar where the music is not too loud. That's outdoors. There's a lot of volume, I would say. Why did they ban you from Bumble and Hinge? Bumble and Hinge. Good question. I think again they don't give you an explanation, so all I can do is speculate. But I think it's because of my YouTube channel. So I think what happens is girls see my profile on those apps and they're like, "Oh, this is the guy that makes lay reports." So they report me to Bumble, and I'm sure that what I'm doing with making videos with screenshots is against their terms of service because I'm screenshotting, like whatever their app. So I'm sure that's the reason. I don't have any proof of that, but that's just my speculation. Okay, so I answered that. Do you have any siblings? Nope. I'm an only child, believe it or not. By the way, Alex, do you think there's a discrepancy between what Vadim does and how he behaves? Seems like he's not actually constant. Vadim from Honest Signals. I don't know him that well. We are friendly for sure. I like him. Uh, no, I don't really see any discrepancy. Honestly, I met him in real life, and he's pretty similar to the videos. Um, Yeah, I mean, I think he has a really hard time. I mean, he's very witty and fairly charming, and I think he has a hard time articulating that. Maybe he takes it a little bit for granted that he is quite witty and charming, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a big discrepancy. Wash, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. He's a pretty decent debater from what I've seen, so we'll see how it goes. I've been having a lot afternoon cloudy. Do you get that too? Sometimes, yeah, a little bit. When girls just put in for is that something when girls put no hookups? For a plug, I guess that means for weed or whatever. I don't know. I live in Miami where it's like decriminalized, so there's not like really like everyone already knows someone who sells weed. Um, I'm not sure what that means. Like, yeah, I'm assuming that means like a weed dealer. Yeah, I don't even bother reading the girls' bios, honestly. Like it's so relevant what girls put in their bios to how they're gonna react when you message them. So I find it fairly relevant information. Let me check again. Oh, she's still not responding. Ah. This looks so needy too. It's like just like but it's not like I'm trying to bank her. I'm just trying to get her on for debate. Okay. Uh you should reach out to David Hammond and Cole Hastings for debate. Okay, cool. I'll look into that. Let me take a photo on my phone. Do, 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 do. Okay, there we go. Okay, you should debate the base Pluto. Not familiar with them either. This is like my mental reminder to research them. Do I need a new phone number or phone? Yeah, that is definitely advisable. Yeah, you can use Google Voice or there's some texting. There's some apps that you can use. Alex, how's it like debating SJW recently? Do you think any of them made a good valid criticism yet? I do not know. I thought the Erin girl was pretty chill and cool, but she started to come around to basically what I was saying. So, um, yeah, no, I don't think there has been anything that's been said that made me change my mind. Any opinions on Bulgaria if you visited there? No, I have never been there, so I can't comment. But it looks like an interesting place. Okay. To which extent do you think looks appearance can influence the impression you leave on a girl? A pretty significant impression. Yeah. I mean, I think looks and the appearance definitely make a big difference. Yeah, I do think it's a bad idea because girls just assume you're from far away. So I don't recommend hiding your location. I personally don't. Alex, what are you doing for your hair loss situation now? I've jumped to Deuce Steroid. No, side facts actually have a high libido now. I think I heard of Deucesteride. I have to let me take another. Let me take a picture of this. Also, I'm gonna research it as well. I am doing okay. So I've done. I do Rogaine. I do derma rolling. I take saw palmetto orally, and I've done 5 rounds of stem cell injections into my scalp where they take a needle and they just go. And so I'm gonna do a video. I'll do like a before and after. I think that helped more with hair loss in the back than the front. I'm probably gonna wind up doing a hair transplant for the front hair loss because there's like kind of it's not too terrible, I think, but it's like kind of like right here is where I need to get more hair, basically. Uh, as a college student, should one do a lot of day game? Um, I mean, that's like, it's like as a college student, should one go to the gym? Generally speaking, yeah, it's good. I wouldn't like do so much cold approach around your campus if it's not that big because you don't want to like develop a reputation for being the cold approach guy on campus. So I'll probably more go to parties and try to pick up girls there. Um, Alex Renega, no, it wasn't purely. No, never. No, I mean, Natty is great, but we're not planning on anything like that. Is Modern Gains your favorite PUA? Yeah, totally. He's so good. What are your thoughts on polarization? I think you mentioned in one of your videos. I think, yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why pretty much every successful person talks about it and does it. So yeah, I think it's definitely legit. Something I should definitely personally do more. But yeah, I do think there's a lot of validity to it. Do you agree with 21's mission to destroy feminism? How am I reading the mission statement wrong? I'm not sure if that is indeed their mission statement, but do I agree with it? Not necessarily. It seems like kind of like an odd, if that is indeed it, seems kind of odd to just like destroy feminism. Because there are, I mean, like there are some like feminism started off about giving equal rights to women, which is something that we can all agree on is a good thing. It's become this really weird thing, but yeah, I don't know. That's not really something I would identify as. I mean, I do enjoy like destroying the feminazis, but okay. Why does John Anthony have beef with everyone in the comically bad faith strawman low hanging fruit type of ways, like antisocial? Yeah, I don't know honestly. Okay, Alex, I want to debate you on two things. Can we do that today? Yeah, can you comment on what exactly you want to debate me on? Just make a comment and say, okay, I want to. These are the two things. I just want to make sure there's enough disagreement for us to have a debate. So just let me know, and if there is, we'll definitely do it. We can do it today too. Okay. Thanks to Alex, everyone will be dating a toxically masculine dude with a deep voice. Can you do debate the sex coach again in the future? Yeah, but me and her don't really disagree on anything, so I think it's more of like a podcast, right? Okay, what else do we have? What's the max months you would wait before being intimate with a woman? 3 or 4 days. For me personally, probably 2 dates, 3 dates max. Yeah, bro. I just want to let you know that we're. Oh, okay. My shorts are not getting notified. Okay, that's a good. Thanks for telling me. I'm gonna take a picture of that and forward that to my tech guy. Thank you. I appreciate the heads up. Uh, we should. Yeah, I think there's this misconception that I'm like chronically tired, which I guess there's an element of truth to it. Like I am usually pretty sleepy, but it's not because of streaming. There's other reasons why I'm like kind of out of it sometimes. Okay. You're amazing. You're still getting girls even though you're dealing with hair loss. Yeah. Okay. I think it's probably true because Andrew Mioch says the same thing and they don't even know each other. So I think there's probably some element of truth to it. I really have never struggled with porn addiction, honestly. Yeah, I just prefer pussy so much more to porn. So porn was never that enticing for me. I do not, but I definitely should. Like it would be, I should visualize and meditate. I just don't, but I should. Do you think Myron even believes in the idea of alpha males don't eat box? I think he's just. I think he actually does legitimately believe that, which is a really bizarre, insecure belief to have. But yeah, to playfully call her out and be like, "Hey, why are you playing games?" Like I don't know. Like I would just call out her behavior. Honestly, Alex, before you became a PUA Chad, what was the point in your life you want to change how you start improve your results with women? I was just completely struggling. I couldn't get any girls. I couldn't get like yeah. I was going out to college parties and I was just striking out over and over again. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that. I mean, I've talked about this, I think, in other videos. It would take a bit to explain it, but yeah, I just had no success with women. Basically, my results were zero. What do you have planned? Yeah, I'm just gonna do a get together. I think everyone's gonna be invited. I'm gonna make the post after this live, so I'm gonna make an announcement like today. But yeah, I'm gonna have a party. Everyone's invited. It's gonna be probably at a bar or something. Okay, let me just double check if see this chick. Nope, still ghost mode. Uh, Alex, was it hard for you single to be single back then? Because it's pretty hard for me. I know I'll be okay on watch with that special girl who appreciates me. Um, I don't think it was hard for me to be single. No. I mean, I think as long as you're getting laid, then that's not that bad. No. Yeah, no, I don't really drink. So I typically pour myself a glass, but I'll sip on it or something. Uh, Told this girl, okay, I'll be your boyfriend. She said I didn't even get a chance to beg. Don't worry, I bet I can find something else for you to beg for. Um, I would follow up with like something like, "Don't be shy" or something like that. Yeah, I've already done that though. I brought on Brian from the Fearless Man, so check out that live stream. I'm not familiar enough with it. Paul Janka, I've been trying to get him on for a podcast, and he's been like super flaky, which has been kind of annoying. And I don't know if someone flakes on me enough times, I just like get turned off, and then at that point, I'm not even really that interested in having them as a guest. So that's kind of where I'm at with Paul Janka. If he reaches out to me and says, "Hey man, I'm ready to do a podcast," I'll happily have him on. But I'm not going to chase a dude like over and over again just to get him on for a podcast, especially when I have like a bigger audience than him. It's just like, yeah, fuck that shit. I don't know. Maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know. But yeah, like I tried several times. He kept rescheduling. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Like if he hits me up, then I'll happily have him on, but I'm not going to keep trying to reach out to him. What are your thoughts on Social Prime? Were they legit? Why did they disappear? Any idea? Ooh, yeah. Okay, this is tricky because I'm pretty good friends with Chris and those guys, and I don't want to reveal stuff that was said to me in confidence. So I'm just trying to think of what information was meant just for me. But in general, so if I'm being vague about this question, that's the reason because I don't want to like betray people's confidence. But yeah, I do think they were legit. I met Chris, I've met Niels, I've seen them do quite well with the ladies. So yeah, I definitely think they have real game and they're legit. Um, why did they disappear? I think there was a lot of infighting between them, so that was an issue. I think from what I heard, they were quite disorganized, and there was a big fallout. And I think they made the mistake of taking too much of an extreme position on certain issues, which backfired. So I think that they had the talent to be great pickup instructors, but not the business or organizational savvy, if that makes sense. Could you please be more user friendly, like streaming at this time instead of 3 a.m. U time? John streams are always user friendly. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But I do prefer streaming at night. Do you have any experience writing field reports? Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at playingfire.com, love reports, I have a whole bunch. Have they helped me in any way? I don't know if they've helped me, but they've definitely helped other people. Uh, Okay. Why do some guys look down on cold approach as if it's beta, and that warm approach using singles are better with using your time? Because they don't like to be rejected. And they have an inherently flawed idea that cold that being rejected is beta or demeaning, which it shouldn't be. Okay. How do you call out a girl on Tinder who doesn't engage in conversation but just asks random weird questions and ignores what you send her? I would just basically say that. Like I'd be like, hey, are you going to answer my questions? Lol. Like, or like, you're so random. LOL. Something like that. Something playful, but that points out what she's doing. Okay. Do you think it's a turn off to ask a girl who's DTF she wants to hook up in my car? I live with my parents and I want to. Yeah. If she's legitimately DTF, then I don't think it's a big deal. But it'll probably be a little smoother if you just pick her up and it just naturally happens. Have you ever had a dry season? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Any someone might get more matches on Hinge. Yeah, certain apps are better in certain cities, so that's actually totally normal. Yeah, some cities, certain apps are better. Basically, when will you arrange? Unfortunately, never. I've emailed Alan Roger Curry about it, and he declined. He respectfully declined. So, he sent me a very nice email, but he said he's not interested. So there's really not much I can do on that front. He's not interested. He's not interested. Um, Alex, could you bring Social Animal? I don't even know who that is, but I'll look into it. How do social solid in a game guys cannot resolve conflict with themselves due to ego? Yeah, potentially. I mean, again, I don't really want to get into like revealing their personal info because again, I like those guys. I'm friends with them. But yeah, in my opinion, yes, that's probably it. Do you think John Anthony? Yeah, I do because I've gone through his first product, and there's like at least 60 there's so many there. There's got to be at least 50. So yeah, so I think yeah, there's definitely at least 100. I don't know if all 100 have been like edited and released yet, but there's at least 50 that have been released that I saw in his first product. I haven't gone through his other products, so I really have no idea what he has there. Alex, what is your approximate lake count? Probably between 300 and 500. I really stopped counting a long time ago, but I have like at least 100 documented, I think, between my videos, my product, the lay reports, and the forums. There's got to be at least 100 lay reports. So, and I think I write maybe one out of every four girls that I bang, maybe even less. Like most girls I hook up with, I don't write about. So, yeah, something like that. Do you think you would get called out by Drew one day? I hope so. I love it when people call me out. No, I mean, I don't know. I know nothing about her. Uh, I know it's repetitive. How to avoid approaching side? Any tip? How did you start it? You just, I mean, there's really no way to avoid it. It's gonna happen. Damn it, she's still not responding. It's gonna happen either way. Yeah. So there's really nothing you can do about it. All you can do is just ignore it and just push past it. And then it gets easier and easier every time. And then after a while, it just becomes just this annoying little thing, but it's not that big of a deal. I have a whole video on this. Check it out. Have you ever watched a Serbian film? I have not. What's the best double text takeaways to I get? I'm busy too, but I'm sure we can both find a few hours if we're going to want to. If she doesn't respond, I would just follow up with or not, something like that. Um, okay. The Hamza I've already invited. He's just completely non-responsive. I don't think he's going to do it. I just get the feeling that he'll never agree. The other people I don't know, so I'll have to look into them. Let me take a picture and I'll research this tonight. Okay, here we go. Okay. What is a typical response rate for matches on Tinder, and what is a typical meetup rate of those assuming are attractive? Maybe 30 to 50% of the girls you message on dating apps will respond. Out of those, maybe you'll meet up with 5 to 10%. It's you really have to run the numbers game, especially when you live somewhere as competitive as Miami. Um, debate. Nah, I mean, like that's so pointless. Like, I mean, I've already done that too. I think this guy, like, there's just nothing interesting about him. So, I mean, if he really wants to do it, maybe I'll do it. But I just feel like there's nothing interesting for us to discuss at this point. I feel like I do better. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who are like that who do better with cold approach. I mean, that's totally fine. I would say that probably your photos are not that good, and if you improve your photos, um, you would improve your online success. What did you have to do to be verified? Well, first of all, I'm not verified in IG, so I'm going through the process right now. So we don't know definitively if it's going to happen. But in order to make it happen, I paid a company, I think $1,500. So they're like helping me, whatever, like present like a press thing to Instagram. I do have a little bit of an edge because I have a YouTube channel, I have a TikTok. There was an article written about me by Vice magazines, even though it was negative. So it's not like I'm completely like pulling that out of my ass. Like I don't think I'm popular enough to get verified per se, but I don't think I'm like a complete nobody. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sure, I can take a look. Alex, what else would you be doing as a career if you weren't a pickup coach? I really don't know. Yeah, this is a good question. What are your thoughts on RSD? Well, I mean, I have a really detailed article, but yeah, I think there's some really good old RSD videos that have been taken down. But I think there's a lot of good things RSD used to teach. I think now they largely suck. Um, are you in Hustlers University? I am not. 17 years old, parents never leave home. How would you deal with that if you want to get laid? Yeah, I mean, you're 1 year away from being 18. Like pretty soon you're going to move out. I guess there's not much you can do now. Maybe your car or something like that. But just keep in mind, in a year, you should be going to college, and then you'll have better logistics. Yeah, I have heard good things about. I personally don't think I've ever, or no, I used to, but not. I haven't in a while done cold approach on the beach. But I know a lot of people who do, and they have pretty good success. So yeah. What's your take on closing at a girl's house? Yeah, I mean, I have a whole video on that. I think it's definitely a lot harder to close at a girl's house because a lot of girls don't have logistics. So if you can have, your own logistics is definitely going to be, much more optimal. Okay. What do you think about demonic confidence? I'm a big fan of demonic confidence. I've recommended it many times. I've personally done it. So I really like the principle of progressive desensitization. So yeah, I'm a fan. Okay. What are your income streams? Do you have any investments? My income streams are pretty much all product sales and mastermind memberships. I get a very small amount of money from YouTube. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you watch like my videos, there's a lot less ads than pretty much every other YouTuber because I have all my settings set on minimal, so that like you guys get a better experience. I turn down pretty much every sponsored post or like you've never seen me do a sponsored video, a sponsored post because I think that shit is lame. So yeah, it's largely product sales and mastermind memberships. Do I have any investments? I have like $20,000 in crypto, but that's about it. Do you think Miami has the most curvy women? Eight, potentially, yes, I think so. I don't think she's coming. No, I mean, I kind of said this in the beginning. She is. Let me check one last time. Yep, no. Oh, she flaked. Super annoying. Okay, someone's fucking spamming the thing. Okay, you can put in ads. You always give all out a month. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I appreciate that. I still don't want to do it. I just think it's like fucking. I don't know, kind of lame. Okay, would you get a face rating from Wee Wallace and make a video on it? I could. I wonder if he would do it though. Like, cause he obviously knows who I am, so he'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like Alex is gonna make a video on this. So I wonder if that would bias his results. Um, I could, yeah. I mean, but then it's just gonna be my opinion versus his. I could do it though. That could be potentially interesting. Um, yeah. Okay. I think we've gone through pretty much all the questions. Oh, there we go. Have you ever been ghosted? If you were ghosted, was yeah, of course. These questions kind of blow my mind sometimes. Like, of course, I've been ghosted. I've been ghosted like hundreds of times. I've been flaked on hundreds of times. Of course, yeah, I've been ghosted. I mean, like, like I don't even know where to start. Like, yeah, I mean, some chick ghosts on you, and then you just move on. I don't really like stay up all night, like fucking tossing and turning about it. But yeah, it is super annoying. Is there a way to basically get any girl, no matter who you are, if you have a specific girl in mind? No, there's no way to get any girl. There's no pickup method or cold approach strategy. Like, there's a huge randomness factor involved with game. What's the difference in viewpoints around hookups between Western, Arab, and Asian women that you might have noticed? Western women tend to be much more open. Arab and Asian women have much more element of slut shaming, so they're really worried about coming off as sluts due to cultural reasons. So, yeah, you have to really not be as explicitly sexual with them, which is why I don't really like gaming Asian chicks or even Arab chicks, because I don't like having to do this like fucking like, oh yeah, don't worry, no, this is we're just gonna be friends, like fucking type of game. Uh, how do you close the floodgates when you have? I mean, just don't add new ones, and I guess just delete the ones that are not likely to meet up. I don't. What percentage? I don't know, 5 or 10%. 5%, I think, is something like that. I mean, most of your cold approaches are going to be rejections. There's just no if, ands, or buts about it. How many cold approaches? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, tens of thousands. I don't know. It's been a lot. It's a weird question. Isn't kind of rude. Yeah, I mean, it's it's unpleasant. Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to doing the bait. Fucking sucks, but whatever. I mean, people flake. I don't know. But maybe she had good reasons, maybe not. I changed my main profile pic on Tinder from a headshot to me on a motorcycle. We can't even see my face. Triple. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Okay, interesting. How do you choose a girlfriend long term? Well, I just see if she has the values and the qualities that I personally like in a girl. I want to debate two things. First, why it makes no sense for guys like Tavi to come on and debate you. I want to debate two things. Post with a huggy following as well. Second is a late count. I have strong arguments. Okay, sure, man. We can do it. You guys want to see me debate bang them all? Bang them all. Is that like a Game of Thrones reference? Kill them all, bang them all. We can do it. Yeah. We can either do it right now or we can do it later tonight. I'll leave it up to you guys. All right, how about this? I'll let you guys decide. Let me know in the comments if you want me to debate bang them all. I can't even say that name without saying right now, or you want me to do it later tonight. And then bang them all. You let me know also if you're free, if you rather do it right now or later, because it's already like 4:40. This debate was supposed to start at 4, but if you guys want me to do it right now, I'll do it right now. So I'm just gonna wait for you guys to let me know in the comments. Everyone's like, now, do it now. All right, fuck it, let's do it now. But let's not make this go for too long. Okay, let me post the link in the chat. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Bang them all. Here's the link. Click on the link, and we will do it. I'm kind of curious. Is that a reference to Game of Thrones or not? 'Cause I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Okay, well, let's just wait for him to join. You should debate chicken. Yeah, I know. I've offered to debate him 100 times. He never does it. He just says that, "Oh, I was waiting backstage." He uses that over and over again. I'll debate him anytime, any place, but he's not going to do it. Like clearly, you guys can see that I'm just down to debate anyone, and I don't really give a shit. All right, we got bang them all. Bang them all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Is that a Game of Thrones reference? Bang them all.
Well, I'm a Game of Thrones fan, but no, it's not a reference. It's like a Casanova reference.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was like a play on like kill them all or burn them all, like bang them all.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I have a
let's.
bit of an echo. Do you know how to actually get rid of that?
Yeah, I don't hear it on my end, but if you hear an echo, go under your settings. And are you wearing headphones right now?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well now it's better actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Sometimes. Okay, cool. So, yeah, why don't you kick this off, man?
Okay, okay. So, well, the first thing, like, is the Todd V thing, because I don't really think he has like anything to gain by debating you. Because let's be honest, like, if you debate a guy who has like a lower viewpoints on a game, like his game is just, I mean, he's pretty like weak in my opinion, at least from like what I've seen, because I've been following him for a long time, following John as well.
Mhm.
And if I compare him to Todd, like he has a good technical knowledge of the game, and but that is basically all. Like he does a lot of stupid shit, like I don't know, like cold reading.
Wait, are you
And
saying Todd's game is lower or whose game is lower? I'm
no,
confused.
I'm saying Todd's game is much weaker than you guys. So basically, if he comes on and tries to debate his points, he's not gonna win. Like, let's say you gain 200 subscribers of his own, and he's gonna gain like maybe one or two, basically,
Okay.
right? So he only like loses points by debating you. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that really just depends on his performance. If he does well, he can gain a good amount. If he does poorly, yeah, he's not going to gain much. Like for example, Torsha, she was on my channel, and in my opinion, she did quite poorly, but she got a whole huge amount of subscribers from that.
Are
Right?
you serious, man? Like, who can follow her? Like, that was terrible. Like what she did there.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought so too,
I mean,
but
but maybe maybe some sims that might find her hard, but I don't see like anyone realistically like gaining followers based on her performance.
yeah, I don't either. But she publicly announced it in a live. Actually, me and Torsha have been talking, and we're like, we're cool now. Like, we're actually super friendly. But yeah, I mean, she did get a good amount of subscribers. She says, I don't know, I never like followed up and like checked it myself.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I
I
think it
mean,
just really depends on his performance. Do I think he's going to win? No, I'm pretty confident in myself. But I don't think his positions are so bad that he's just determined to lose. Like he's not like a Rolo or a Fresh and Fit, where it's like it's going to be like nearly impossible for them to win. Like Todd is a little bit more reasonable, and when it comes to like game techniques, a lot of it is a matter of opinion. So, for example, I can be like, "Oh, I don't think that being super fancy is a good idea." He can be like, "Well, I think it is a good idea," and then we're just like, so that's one of those things that's more subjective
yeah,
rather
but it
than
just all
objective.
comes down to exposure, right? Like, let's say before I knew you guys, like you and John, I was following RSD, right? And
Mhm.
first I came up, on John roasting like Tyler or whatever. I was like, who's this arrogant fucking guy? And I'm like, okay, he's pretty cool. It makes sense. It makes sense. And actually, later on, I actually found out that his teachings are much more solid than I found you as well, right? And I think
Mhm.
for Todd, it's the same. Like, if followers of his actually see your advice, they're gonna know, like, okay, this is much better advice. And there's actually no reason to pay for Todd's coaching, and it's much better to pay for yours. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. I mean, I do think I am better. Yes, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be doing what I do if I didn't think that I'm quite good at what I do. But the thing is, I don't think Todd knows that. Like, I think Todd is convinced that his stuff is better. Maybe he's not. Maybe he knows that he kind of sucks. I don't know. I don't
But I
like
mean,
have
like,
any.
let's be honest. Like, if you look at Todd's game, like he hasn't really progressed. Like he has like like one or two steps to actually getting it like a really really high level, and you can see it in his infields, right? Like he's still like very like soft and not very
No.
direct. And I mean, like, I don't know. It just when it compares to somebody like elite level game, it just I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't think he would come out looking good from the debate.
Yeah, well, it could go either way. I mean, I think that though his audience would, I think people respect you more if you're willing to, like, I don't know, debate and stuff like that. So I think he could gain respect from his audience and from my audience. Like, okay, at least he's willing to have the conversation because when he like, doesn't fucking kind of hides, that's like, people are just like, okay, that's a little weird. Um,
Uh,
I think that, what's it called? Completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I think that debates can go either way. Like I think that if we were to have a cold approach infield competition, yeah, that's a little different. Which no one's offering that. But if we're going to have a debate, I don't know. I don't think he necessarily has to lose. Like again, I don't think his positions are so bad. And initially, my plan wasn't even to debate him. Actually, it was just have him on for a podcast. Like that
right,
was
right.
the whole
Yeah, I
thing.
mean he could add a lot of value. Like he's an OG, so why not?
Yeah, I mean,
All
I
right.
think like if he doesn't want to do a debate, he just wants to have a conversation. That's totally fine. He can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. I
I
mean,
just
he's a nice guy. Nothing against him, but like I'm saying, I just
well,
don't
actually, I
think.
don't think he's a nice guy though. There's some stuff that he did behind the scenes that
Okay, well,
you
I'd like to know about that, but
Okay, so yeah, so I've been trying to. So I'll just share the story. So I've been trying to get Todd on for a podcast for ages. Actually, not even a debate, a podcast. And I've had multiple people like we have mutual friends, right? Like it's at this point, like I have mutual friends with pretty much most people in the industry. So I had several people like introduce me and be like, "Hey, like this guy Alex, he's cool. You should have him on his podcast." Finally, he responded to my emails and he's like, "Hey, Alex." I appreciate you reaching. It was a very condescending email. It was like, "Hey, I appreciate you reaching out, but I cannot come on due to no fault of you. It has nothing to do with you, but I can't do it." It was really cryptic and weird, and I was
and
like,
that's the thing, man. It's not cryptic. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows all too good that he has a large following, and he's gonna not lose all of it, but like you know what I'm saying, right? Like if you're presented with another option, a better option, interesting option, you might take it. And I think he's worried about that. And I think
uh,
it's just pretty clear. Right? He's a smart guy. He knows it. Like
it's possible, but let me finish the story because it gets a lot more
okay,
interesting. So okay, so he's so then I make a video like several months later where I break down his cold approach. I literally didn't attack him personally at all. I was just like evaluating his cold approach and giving my honest opinion. Then he sends me a really butthurt email saying this is exactly the reason why I didn't collaborate with you. Like basically you're a piece of shit and you have 48 hours to take down that infield or that breakdown before I have my lawyers sue you and blah blah blah. Or no, sorry, before I have my lawyers uh, file a DMCA takedown, and then he like CC'd his lawyer in the email, like really condescending and like
mm,
just a whole dick in that email. And then I'm
okay.
like, fuck this guy. So I have a PWF lawyer, so I fucking have my lawyer.
And there you go. I mean, that just so shows his insecurity. Like
Right. So I have my lawyer send in the cease and desist and say if you
yeah.
file any charges with YouTube, we're gonna fucking destroy you. And then he completely backs down. He says, "Oh well, I wasn't saying you have to take it down. It was just a suggestion. I was just
Okay.
saying maybe it's a good idea, but you don't have to." Completely backtracks, and then I'm like, "Okay, dude, but it's all good. It's not a big deal." But if you want to come on for a podcast and explain why I'm wrong and why I wasn't fair in that review, I'll totally have you on. And even if you want to come, if you really want, I can even take that down if you're willing to come on for a discussion. Like for
Mm,
example, with Donovan Sharp, I had a video like roasting him, but after he came on for a debate, I took it down out of respect. Just the fact that he was willing to come on my channel. At that point, I respect that person enough that I'll take down my roast videos
yeah,
of
yeah,
them. And I would
yeah. I
have done
mean,
that for
sure.
Todd too. And then of course he ghosts again. like
Yeah, yeah,
so yeah, it doesn't
yeah. I
have to
mean,
necessarily be a
yeah.
debate.
I
I don't
think
even
he's
think me
just
and Todd. Hmm? What?
Okay, yeah, yeah. We can move forward. Yeah, I can just talk more about red pillars and why I don't see like any added value to them coming on and debating you.
Okay.
And okay, so the reason I think is like basically red pill, especially say fresh and fit. It's these days and raw. I mean, it's more like a cult following basically now.
Yeah.
Just like a cult, we can say that. So if you basically challenge their views, doesn't matter, if you just make good points, they might, let's say some you just question their views, right? That
Mhm.
just sort of weakens their points, and they're like they say like it's a fact, right? A lot of the things they say that just aren't fact. It's just their opinions and
Uh,
their view of the reality, as they you know like to pretend. And therefore, if you come on there, just debate them, they're gonna come out looking like maybe this isn't a fact, and that's not what they want, right? That's why anytime there's somebody who could actually debate them and win, they're gonna always refuse. So I think they would only lose by debating you and having like any kind of conversation, simply because you would challenge their views really well, and that's not what they want. They want a cult following, nobody questioning them. And I mean, not to be only negative, like there's a lot of good that Fresh and Fit does,
mm,
like especially with the feminist propaganda, and that men are basically worse off when it comes to almost anything these days. So I kind of appreciate what they do, but then a lot of the things they say are pretty stupid. So,
mm.
but
Yeah. So
regardless of that, yeah,
So yeah, so there's two things to consider. I think that the first thing is that if I was to debate Fresh and Fit or Rollo, that live stream would get more views than anything I've ever done or they've ever done. There's so much anticipation for that. It would be like a UFC grudge match. Like there's so many people. Like we could literally charge pay-per-view for that. Not that I want to do that because I don't like charging my subscribers, but let's say hypothetically speaking, because those guys are all about the money, they wanted to charge
I would pay
pay-per-view.
for it. I would pay
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, dude, there would be they could make tens of thousands of dollars with that. Like so many people want to see that debate. So I think there's a lot of interest in that happening. But then the second thing is I think we have to separate Fresh and Fit from Rolo. For Fresh and Fit, yeah, it maybe makes less sense from their perspective to debate me because one, they're not really advocating debates. They're not like really the thought leaders. They're more of an entertainment channel. So
Yeah,
okay, from their perspective, I sort of understand
and
it.
it's
They
it's
also
it's not gonna be entertaining, right? Like it's
Oh,
gonna
I
be
think it's
you
gonna be
making
very
good points.
entertaining. Oh, I think the
Oh,
debate will be
okay,
so entertaining.
okay, could be. I don't know. I
Uh,
just I just feel like you would sort of dismantle their points, calm, collected, and logically. Like
yeah,
it's
see, like
just
everyone's saying, y'all down to pay. Like
yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
saying,
yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah, like dude,
yeah, but
there's tens
that's
of thousands of dollars that
yeah.
could be
People,
made.
I mean, people would pay for it, but like like
I
they
think
they
hundreds,
make
if not thousands.
yeah, but they are still making good money right now, right? And I think the potential of their following, like the cult building and all of that, is much higher than having their opinions questioned. Therefore,
Um,
I just don't see them. It's just all like a risk reward situation when it comes to Todd V or Red Pillars, and I don't think
uh,
they would gain from debating you.
Potentially, but then okay. So what I was saying is we got to separate Rolo from Fresh and Fit. For Rolo, I think it's different because in his book he
Okay.
actually says you should debate people with different opinions than you. He talks about in his streams that you should not be afraid to challenge your ideas. So at this point, him not debating me is insanely hypocritical because of what he says. Imagine
Yeah,
I
yeah, I agree, man. I agree so much.
constantly,
Like,
hey guys, you should get on Tinder. You should get on Tinder. And then you find out that I've never been on Tinder before. Like that would just be so bizarrely hypocritical of me. So yeah, so I think for him it's a little different because
yeah,
just
yeah. I think he should just debate you just based on like he needs to back up what he says. I mean, it's just all about what do they say all the time? Accountability. Yeah,
yeah,
and they have
I'll actually
solid
share
love
something.
it.
Yeah, I'll share something pretty funny actually. Hang on, let me share my screen.
Yep.
So roll so there's a running joke that every time Rolo gets challenged to a debate, he says debate about what? And he literally did it like 2 days ago. This was really funny. Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, let's go to the rational male. Oh, it's atrocious. Okay. Okay, I think it's this one. Let's go to the comments. We gotta scroll all the way down. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, we're just going all the way down,
Damn.
all the way down, all the way down, all the way
Did
down.
you write a first comment or something?
It wasn't me. I'm banned from his I can't
Okay.
even like if I write something
Of
in the
course you
drop,
are.
he's banned me,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
which is also pretty bizarre. But no, someone else did, and this is what happened. Let's just keep going all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Keep going. Keep going. I think we're almost there. We're almost there. Keep going. Okay, there we go. Come debate, Alex. I saw it. I saw it. Wait, where is it? I just saw it. Okay, there we go. Come debate, Alex. Right? About. This is like a
Oh,
this is like a meme at this point. Like every time he gets challenged, someone tells him to debate me. He says about what? So I actually
yes,
had
it's Nitin as well, right? Okay,
yeah,
let's
I
go.
told him to write this. So here I just give him like four things he can debate me about.
Okay.
What did I miss here? You straw man every pretty much. He says that make it. Why don't you actually have a debate? And of course he disappears. He
And
does
what
that
is what
every
what
time.
is what is the link to the video he sent?
That's where he did a 2 hour live stream about
Common
me.
law marriage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I saw that. I think I saw that. Where he basically like, yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't address it at all. And yeah, I think he should really debate you. Like, Rollo definitely should. Fresh and fit, I don't think so, but Rollo. I mean,
mean,
if he has like any, if he wants to hold himself as well accountable, then he definitely should. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty entertaining, but I don't think he's
And
ever
it's
going to do it.
yeah, I don't think so either. And so is one of the rules the lay count one, like you shouldn't share it or you should share it, or is the different
Yeah,
ones?
that's Rollo's rule. You shouldn't share your lake count. That's one of the things I disagreed with.
Yeah, well, we can debate that right now because I actually,
Okay.
like from my opinion as well, is that you shouldn't share it
Okay.
because like my lay count is pretty high as well. It's 84 currently, and I don't really share it anymore because I am like, let me say it, like I'm always interested like what the girl's lay count is. So I'd love to ask, but I know like okay, I'm gonna ask her. She's gonna say like I don't know, like whatever, like 5 or 20, and then I'm gonna say like 80, and she's gonna be like all the reactions I got basically are like, oh okay, they weren't like necessarily negative, right? They're not gonna say like judge you for it because the girls I usually like hook up with or are seeing on a regular basis are pretty cool, but I believe that by having a high like count, let's say I don't know over like 30, 40, for most of the girls it's gonna be negative. They're gonna be thinking like, okay, so I'm not really special, and it's like I'm just another one. And even though I do treat them special, like I just don't look at them as another lay, they're gonna be thinking, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm from Europe, I'm not from America, but the way I feel is like there's not any benefit from sharing it, right? Because I'm interested, like there's a little benefit to me because I always want to know like if the girl's like what her like count is. But if I share my like count, which is pretty high as well, I just don't see how that I just know that they're not going to be looking at that as a positive.
Okay. There's a few things. Let me just quickly address two things in the chat. You do the same. Yes, you're right. I do the same. But the big difference is that after I ask people what they want to debate me about, I actually debate them. That's the big difference. I don't ghost on them, as you can see with Bang Them All. Like I asked him, he
Yeah,
answered.
man,
And
that's the thing. I was just like
that's
a
the big
random guy in chat, like let's
that's the
debate,
that's
and
the
he
big
did it.
difference. Is yeah, I
Yeah.
ask. Yes, you're right. I do ask what, but that question has already been answered 100 times for Rolo. Like I don't know how many times I can keep asking. He can keep asking that same question. And we got Kezzy Noble in the chat. So big shout
Hey,
out to
Kezzy,
Kezzy.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of her channel. She's been on the podcast before. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan as well. Like
thanks for
the
your
best
support, Kezzy.
dating female coach, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Definitely our favorite Brit. Okay, so in terms of what you said, okay, so a few things. Have you ever had a negative? Have you ever actually had anything negative happen as a result of sharing your body count?
Sort of. Okay, so it's
What
not like right away. Like, okay, I was hooking up with this girl from Slovakia,
happened?
and I was her third guy, right? She was like Christian and all of that, and she was amazing, beautiful. And I don't know, like when this happened, like when we shared the like count thing, but I told her I don't think I was even honest. I was like, yeah, it's allowed. She was like, oh, it's like I don't know. First she was like, was 20 or 30. Then I told her, okay, it's like way more. And basically, I don't know if I told her like 50 or 80 or like a lot. I don't really know. But so she wasn't like, okay, that's like, oh wow, that's weird, anything like that. But I know it just indirectly affected our relationship, right? Because she was like, I don't know, like a month or two later, she was like, okay, let's not. I'm getting back to my boyfriend or whatever. Like, it was nice knowing you. I was like, hey, sure, it was nice knowing you as well. So I just don't see how that could be positive.
But
And it
how do you
happened.
know? How do you know it was because of the lay count? Like how do
I
you know
don't.
it was?
Okay, well, it wasn't because of the lay count. That's okay. Okay, it wasn't because of the lay count. I'm gonna be honest. It was because I wasn't really looking for a relationship. We were
Oh, there
just
you
hang.
go.
I mean, okay, okay. Well, that's. But it's still. I don't think it was of any benefit to me sharing it.
Yeah. Well,
Basically, right?
I don't think necessarily there's a big benefit to sharing your body count. I don't
Okay.
think
Well, I
your
think
body.
it's slightly negative. That's my argument.
Okay.
It's
Well,
slightly negative.
so let me kind of address that. So yeah, so my claim isn't that there's like some kind of a big positive to sharing your lake count. I don't really think there really is much positive to it, aside from the fact that it's easier to just to be transparent with people than like kind of keep a mysterious act going. So I personally prefer just being super transparent with all the girls I meet. I don't think there's a negative though. I mean, it sounds like in your situation you shared it with quite a few girls, and there was only one situation where it potentially backfired, and
It
even
wasn't. It
then,
wasn't just one. It wasn't. It was like a many. Like anytime I'm with a girl that is like I don't know, like three lay count or five lay count. I used to share it, but I don't anymore because
but I
it just.
wonder, yeah, but I wonder if that's because you shared the lake count or in the manner in which you shared it. Meaning, like when you share a high lake count, and yeah, for pickup guys, 80 might not be super high, but for like the average person, 80 is quite high. So yeah, I agree with you. That's high for like pretty much uh, high for any like average girl. When you share it, the reaction you're gonna get, and the reaction I get, is like, oh wow, you're kidding me. You fucked that many girls, right? It's always like a shock, right? And so what I think matters is how
Yeah,
you
yeah,
handle that afterwards. And if you show any signs of being ashamed, embarrassed, of not fully owning it, then that can rapidly backfire. Yes, but if
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
and that's okay.
I've literally never once had it backfire, and I've fucked hundreds of girls, and I've told girls that because yeah, they do get surprised afterwards, but then they're here, then they're like no way, no, you've been with that many girls, you're a slut. I'll be like, yeah, are you slut shaming me? Right? Like I can just flip it on them so easily, and then like
Yeah, yeah,
make it into a thing where they're actually fascinated by it, and they're like, wow, like oh my god, you must have so much experience. So I can make it
okay,
a
I get it.
I can
I get it.
frame it not so much in a way that like somehow directly benefits me, but certainly in a way where it's not a negative.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
personally
I
never
see.
had.
Well, okay, well, that's the thing. I don't think I don't own it or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, I just, I'm not much of a relationship type of guy, and I haven't
Yeah,
had a lot of luck in that
yeah.
department.
The minute you start justifying is the minute like
And
yeah,
yeah, I don't think I sell it as a justifying. I'm just like, I just said like, okay, like I like a lot of girls. I like to have sex. I'm not ashamed of it, right? And that's basically how I said it. Like, there's no judgment. And I don't know, like when there's a girl who has like a really low like count, she's not gonna be impressed or look at it as a beneficial thing, right? Let's say like okay, like a lot of us, I don't know, I believe a lot of guys would appreciate a girl that's like 3 to 5 lay count, that's just pretty low. And if you share that with a girl such as this, she's not gonna be. I think she'll look at it as a negative. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna give you this. Like, if there's a perfect connection with a girl, she's not gonna mind. And if you own it, which I do, then it's like okay, she's not gonna look at it. But I don't
yeah.
know. I just don't.
I think a lot of it is just how you frame things. I've been able to frame things that are potentially negative as like for example, I'm kind of fun fact about me. I'm pretty lazy. So in certain ways, in some ways I'm not. So I always show up to dates wearing like sweatpants and like fucking t-shirts. And like sometimes girls are dressed really nice, right? Like sometimes chicks like think that it's going to be a fancy date, so they wear like
Huh.
fancy outfits. And I'm just in sweatpants, and sometimes they're like, really, this is what you're wearing, right? So that's a potential negative. But the way I frame it, I'm like, yeah, I like to be casual and relaxed. Why are you dressed so fancy? And then instead of it being a negative, they start questioning themselves for dressing up so nice, right? Like, don't you like to be casual? Like, don't you like to be comfortable? And
Yeah,
I'm like, well,
but I mean, okay, but
so
do
I think
you
a
do you?
lot of stuff is just how you frame it. A lot of stuff is not inherently good or bad. It comes down to interpretation. I think lay count is that thing. There are some things that are objectively good, like for example, I don't know, like being good looking or having good game or being charming. Those things are objectively good, and there are
Okay,
some. There's
Okay,
some things that are like objectively bad, like lying or deceiving or premature ejaculation or whatever. But there's a whole bunch of things that are objectively neutral and they can be good or bad based on interpretation. I think that the body count is one of those things. It's it just depends on how it's framed and how the
okay.
person interprets it.
I sort of agree, but okay, if not being politically correct for a second, if you're with a girl you just wanna hook up with for a while, and she's like a nice girl, and you share your lay count, I don't think she's gonna be as enticed to be seeing you, because a lot of them, they're like, okay, let's get to know each other, hang out for a bit, and hook up with each other or whatever, and see where this goes, right? And if she gets to know your lake count, let's say second date, whatever, I mean after you hook up, of course, she's gonna be like, okay, so this guy does this a lot, he's probably not a relationship type. So I just don't see how this would benefit you at all, right?
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
think that, like, I personally consider the best response to be, uh, don't even bring it up, because I mean, even though I'm interested, I'm always in. I just usually bring it up only with the girls I know that are, like, had a lot of guys, and then they
Mhm.
don't even care. They actually might see it as a positive, right? Like, I don't know, like 3 days ago, I hang out with this girl. She probably had like 50, 70 lay count, so it was like didn't really matter at all. She was like, I don't even know how many.
Right.
But any other girl, I just don't see how that is of any benefit to you or to the interaction. I mean, it's always interesting to know, but if you wanna keep hanging out with her and she has a low lay count, I don't think that benefits you to share it.
There's some potential benefits, and again, I think, like I said, I'm not. My claim isn't that you should always share your lake count. My claim was that the rule, which says never under penalty of death, that's a pretty extreme claim. Under penalty of
Yeah,
death,
yeah, yeah, okay.
share your
Yes,
body
yes.
count. That was stupid, right? So that was my claim. It wasn't that you should necessarily share your body count. People are asking, "Where's your accent from?" Everyone's like really curious.
Czech Republic.
Oh, okay, cool. I've been there before a few times,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Did you go to Prague, by the way?
yeah, of course.
Okay, well, that's the problem, man. You gotta with other cities. They're
No,
actually
I
better
enjoyed Prague, man.
for
I had a
game.
really good time there. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah.
but yeah, that's the thing. It's like very touristy, so you should also come to other cities, maybe like Brno, Olomouc, student
Okay.
cities. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down to get some college Czech girls. But
Well, you
anyway,
should, man. You should.
what I was saying, I completely forgot what I was saying earlier. I was talking about that my initial claim was that, yeah, that it's not so much that you need to necessarily share your body count, but one potential benefit of sharing your body count is that it sets the frame that you're not looking for a relationship, which I think is important because girls who are like very relationship oriented, you can bang them a few times, but then eventually they're still going to want that relationship, right? So if you want to keep things casual, you have to set the frame that this is casual from the start. And one of the ways that helps establish that is by showing her that you're a guy who gets a lot of girls, right? That basically implies that, hey, I'm not actually looking for something serious, right? Because
Okay.
I get laid a lot. I think that frame, if you want to have a casual relationship long term, more than a month or two, that frame has to be set. I see a lot of guys. This is a common intermediate issue guys have is they get pretty good at cold approaching and banging girls, but they're still not fully. They don't fully set the casual frame, which is an issue
Yeah,
I
that
had.
that might be that actually might be my problem as well.
That's
With
that's a
this.
very common intermediate issue, right? They don't set that casual frame, and then their hookups last a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months, but eventually they all fizzle out before like the 4 or 5 month mark. Again, because the girl is like waiting for the relationship to happen, the relationship doesn't happen, and then she feels deceived and she feels like she wasted her time, and so she ends it, right?
Yeah,
But
well,
you can
yep.
avoid that by setting the very casual frame from the start, because then the girl cannot be upset because you told her up front, right? And
Okay,
one
I
of the
agree, but then you're gonna lose a lot of those girls that are actually looking mostly for a relationship, right? Like, let's say that Slovakian girl I was hanging out with, that was her, three like count.
Mhm.
I don't think she would be probably hooking up with me if she knew there was zero chance of relationship. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but and there's a lot of girls like that. Like, I usually go for the nice girls. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
well, the,
just
the issue with that though is, I mean, this is I'm not I don't I try not to make moral judgments, but like from an ethical perspective, at that point, you are sort of leading a girl on, which is kind of
well,
more
I
of a
mean, I mean, not really. If you say like, okay, let's get to know each other and let's see how this goes, And like that's what I always say. Like I'm honest. Like I'm not leading anyone on. But there's just like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be looked at
I'm not saying that
that
to
way.
judge you, man. I used to do that all the time in the
Oh,
past.
I mean,
What I'm saying is that
my
though,
name is
like,
Bang them all, so I don't think there's any risk at this point. But
yeah, no, I'm not
uh,
saying that as like a way of making a moral judgment. I used to do that all the time. That's something that's very common. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for doing that. I'm just saying that is ethically dubious. But so the point I'm making is that if you know for a fact that you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship with the girl, and you know that she actually wants that, and you're kind of going halfway and you're kind of humoring that, you are sort of leading her on, which again, like from a pragmatic perspective, is not going to last that long because eventually she's going to get tired of it. So my opinion is that it's better to just be a little bit more upfront from the start. That's kind of been my experience. And then, yes, you are going to screen out some of those girls that are relationship only. But there's also going to be a lot of girls, they're just going to go with it because they're like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to keep fucking this guy while I look for a boyfriend. And then usually
yeah,
they never
yeah.
find a boyfriend, so they keep banging you.
Okay,
Uh,
so that yeah, that's an interesting thing to consider for me. I mean, I do agree sort of with you that that might be something I should do a little more. Although it's not like I said, like I don't want to come, for this to come out as like I'm leading them on. That's not what I'm doing. I'm always honest. Like I always say, okay, like I want to get to know you and we'll just see how it goes. And like it usually fizzles out if there's not anything more. We just, hook up a few times. If there's a connection, we keep seeing each other for a longer time. But it's just sometimes they're like, okay, so do you want a relationship? I'm like, not really. And they're like, okay, well, let's just end it, right? So
mm.
it's always honest. So I just don't want to come out of this as someone who's leading somebody on, because that's not what I do.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're good. But what I'm saying is that I guess you can preempt that by setting a very we're just having sex frame from the start. And then if you decide later on that you really like this girl and you want to date her, you can always transition. So it's very easy to go from fuck buddies to boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's almost impossible to go from boyfriend to girlfriend to fuck buddies, right? So you can go in this direction, but you can't go in this direction. So in my opinion, it makes sense to start here, and then you can always go up if you want. But if you
You
start,
are absolutely correct. But
you
okay,
can't go
well,
down.
yeah, that's a good point. However, answer this like before you hook up. Well, that's the thing, because I'm giving like the boyfriend vibe probably from the get go. Actually, I'm not really. It's like a halfway there. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I should probably. But that's the point. Like you're gonna lose a lot of those nice girls that are like in that middle area, right? Not straight up sluts, but
You would think that, but in reality, you won't lose nearly as many as you think you will. A lot of girls will respect the fact that you're honest, and they'll just be like, okay, well, I guess we can keep fucking while I look for a boyfriend or whatever, and then
well,
usually
that's yeah,
usually takes them like years to find boyfriends. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had that happen so many times. Maybe they don't say that directly, but they kind of imply that. But usually, especially if you do this in the right way, and especially if you fuck her really well, and like you guys have fun together, she's like, yeah, this guy does not want a relationship, but he fucks me really well. He's really fun to be around. I'll just keep fucking him for now. It works for me temporarily, but then that temporarily becomes years. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
at least
I
that's kind
mean,
of always been my experience. But yeah, like when I was younger, I used to kind of do that. I used to kind of lead girls on a little bit more, and it's this. I'm not saying that like it's the worst strategy ever, but it does, from a purely pragmatic perspective, it does often lead to situations where the girl, like several months later, is like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And then the whole thing fizzles out.
yeah.
Versus,
Well, that's what happens to me usually, right? But
yeah, of course,
it's always really positive, right? They're like, okay, it was
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice
I'm not
knowing
saying it
you.
has to be a negative thing.
Yeah, yeah. But they're just like, okay, well, I'm looking for something different, and then they're just like, whatever,
Yeah,
move
yeah,
on.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and just find another girl, to add to a rotation. So I don't
Yeah,
lose
but I'm
anything
saying I'm
really.
saying I think you might have better success if you try the strategy of like I think that's like also that's like the step from intermediate to advanced in my opinion is I've just seen this time and time again with the guys I coach is they get pretty good and they kind of start doing that where they're sort of like foot in foot out, but then they get to like the next level and they're just like, you know what, it makes more sense for me to be more upfront, and then they start having more success with that. So I think that's like actually the next level for you. At the very least, try it. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to what you're doing.
Okay,
But
well, I'm down to try that, but like how do I do it? Like, let's say, so I just basically like change my Tinder profile a little bit, to make it a more fuck boy type, but like realistic.
I think a lot of it has to do not so much with your profile, but how you present yourself in real life and like what you
Mm,
do after you fuck the girl. So like making
yeah, yeah.
sure, like I don't know, it's one of those things that's easier said than done because I don't. It's not like I tell a girl, hey, by the way, I'm never gonna date you. We're just gonna be fuck buddies, right? That's gonna be a massive turnoff. It's you kind of have to imply that with your actions. So one of those things is sharing your body count because that does suggest that you get a lot of girls. Another thing I'll do is I'll talk about other crazy sexual experiences. She'll just basically get the hint after a few hangout sessions that really that there's like close to no chance of having a relationship with me. And
Okay,
then
that's.
sometimes
Mhm.
if I really like the girl, I'll pleasantly surprise her and I'll be like, oh, by the way, I actually am down to date you. They'll be like, holy shit. Like I never saw this
Mm.
coming.
That's actually a really good advice, man. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Damn, man. Been following you and John for like, I don't know, like many years, man. Like since you had, I don't know, like 4,000 subscribers. And you guys have grown so much, like in the past, I don't know, like even like half a year, it's been crazy.
I appreciate the support, man. And yeah, keep banging them all.
Oh man, I will, getting close to that 100.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no.
Eventually it starts getting old though. Like once you get to several hundred, you just start getting bored
Yeah,
with it.
well, actually, the point where I'm at right now is like I'm more enjoying the interactions in itself, right? Like I was always like, okay, let's bang this girl as quick as possible, and then let's see. Right now, I'm like, okay, let's enjoy the interaction and enjoy the sex and enjoy everything that's after that. So I think
Mhm.
that's a great transition because when you're like pushing it a lot, like bang all of them at like first date, then they're like, okay, let's. Then a lot of them are like, okay, well, let's not do this again or whatever, because they're like, I don't know, it just feels rushed for them, and they're like not sure about it, right?
Mhm.
And what I liked was your podcast with Vadim from Honest Signals, one of the best guys in game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Where
agree. I
where
agree.
he yeah, 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 where he said basically like, I don't rush it anymore ever again. I'm like, a second date usually is for him, like when he bangs the chicks,
Mhm.
because it just feels good and natural, and I'm
I
kind
think
of.
there's also an element of location to it. Vadim lives in Canada. He travels around Europe a lot. I live in Miami. It is quite different here. So I think there's a locational aspect to it. If you live in certain places, it probably does make more sense to go for the two date approach, like Canada or I can't speak for Canada, but like Eastern Europe for sure. But like places like Miami, if you don't bang a chick on the first night, you're not going to see her again. That's just the unfortunate reality. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah, and I mean, I do agree with that actually. That, yeah, I mean, I can say that like 85 like counts. It's quite a lot. So I've had these experiences as well. Like when there's a bit of a connection, the girl feels it in a moment, so she just goes for it. You have a good night together, but then there's nothing else, right? And if you don't bang on the first night, she's gonna be thinking and like, okay, well maybe this is not, and she's not gonna see you again, basically, right? So I mean, I do see the benefit of having sex on the first night, but honestly, like if there's a good connection, and if you're not just after the like count, there's no reason to rush it.
Yeah, I think with that, I've kind of my opinion has kind of shifted in the last few years, but I've come to I think a lot of it has to do with the way the initial date is framed. So if there is a strong sexual inference when the date is set up and you don't bang her on the first date, you have close to zero chance of seeing her again. If, however, there's no sexual inference, it's more of a romantic inference or a social inference, and you just make out with her on the first date, then I think that could be okay, and you can see her again. But again, it just has to do with how the initial date was framed and what happens on that initial date. You kind of get into the danger zone if you pull the chick back to your place, but you don't close. Then usually you don't see her again because then she's like, "What the fuck?" Like, but if you like maybe go to a bar, you make out at the bar, but you don't actually go back to your place, and the whole thing there was more of like a romantic frame, then I think you have a pretty decent chance of getting a second date. But again, if it was a sexual frame or you pulled her back to your place but you didn't close, then yeah, you're probably not going to see her
Yeah,
again.
well, that okay. Well, I hope I'm not keeping you from debating those SJWs or whatever. I
No,
might
I
have
think she
one more thing
flaked.
to debate.
I mean,
It
yeah,
was supposed to be another girl. Was it
yeah,
Erin
yep,
again?
yep, yep. She flaked. Yeah, yeah. She's not
I
responding.
watched
She
those.
literally opened me. I can't get over this. She opened me with, "I won't back down. No worries." That was her opener. So that's like kind of
What do you
ironic.
mean? Oh, like for the first debate or second?
No, this is a different girl. So this was going to be a different girl. So
Oh,
she
okay.
opened me was saying, "I won't back down, no worries." So she's saying, "I won't flake." Basically, don't worry. And then she
Yes, she
flaked.
did, man.
It's just ironic. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just find
man.
that very ironic.
That's what they always do, right? Okay, so the another thing I'd like to ask you about is because what I usually do is I frame my dates as let's go for a walk and then we can have have a glass of wine or whatever together. So that's what I do instead of framing it straight to the house, which is what you do. And it works really well for me because usually we walk for like 20-30 minutes and I'm like, okay, well, we can have this wine together. You just go to my place, and since there's always a good connection, and if the girl really likes you, she's gonna go to your place pretty much always, even though she sometimes doesn't have sex on the first date, but they usually do.
Mhm.
So I'm really interested, like, how do you do this? I mean, it's probably in your product, but it just, to me, it seems like, especially girls in Czech Republic, they wouldn't come straight to your house. And I think, like, actually going for a walk first, say 20-30 minutes, is actually better because they see that you're a cool guy. They see, like, okay, this guy, I can trust him. He has a good energy, he has a good vibe. Let's go drink some wine and see where this goes, right? Because I actually might think that this is actually better than straight to the house, but I don't know. Like, I don't even know how you do it.
Mhm.
It's I can't
Yeah.
even imagine, right?
Yeah. So okay. So there's a few things to say on that. I do think, actually, generally speaking, if we're there's two ways to look at it. One is effectiveness, and two is efficiency. So from a effectiveness perspective, I actually do think public dates are better because there's going to be some girls, when you suggest coming straight to the house, they're gonna get annoyed. And they're not going to meet up with you in the first place. So, from an effectiveness standpoint, you're probably better off meeting her at a bar nearby and then pulling her to your place. From an efficiency standpoint, it's a little different. Efficiency is about how do you make the best use of your time. And so, from an efficiency perspective, if you have a lot of leads, it's probably better to invite them straight over. Um, so there's two ways to look at it, and it just comes down to your goals and the amount of leads you have coming in. In terms of how do you invite them straight over, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, your profile should be somewhat sexual as it is, but I even do this with cold approach. Like, I don't know, if your approach is somewhat sexual, your profile is somewhat sexual, you're flirting with a girl, it's not that far of a leap to invite her straight to your place. At that point, it's like, okay, yeah, like this guy was giving me sexual vibes the whole time. It's an issue if you're not being sexual and then you're just like, oh, by the way,
Hmm.
you want to come over. Then the girl gets creeped out. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as long as it's already framed in a sexual manner from the beginning, then it's not an
Yeah,
issue.
because the way I do it, actually, because I'm like very, I just have like a normal conversation, and like connect a little bit, a little bit of flirtation and nice vibe over the either like in person or Tinder conversation, and then I usually say, okay, let's go for a walk, and then possibly have a wine. Then we go for a walk, 20-30 minutes, then go to my place, and we usually bang, right? So it's like it works really really well. And I don't know, man. I feel like I would lose a lot of those girls trying to get them to come over straight to my house. But that might be because of my bio isn't really very sexual, or like my profile, whatever. And even I'm not very sexual right away, right? I like to do that in person because I think that's more than enough, right? Because they say, okay, this is a cool guy. I want to meet him. He seems very
Yeah,
normal.
if you're not, if you're saving your sexualization for in person, then yeah, it probably does not
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sense.
I prefer that because I feel like a lot of girls they get hit with a lot of like sexual comments or like openers and all of that on the apps. So they hate it basically. They're like, okay, I'm not gonna give this guy a chance. Like he just wants to bang me, right? That's why I like to save the sexualization for in
Yeah, I
person.
mean, I think there's a lot of speculation in what you're saying. You might be surprised. I used to think that way too, but then I tried some shit and I was like, "Well, holy shit!" Actually, there's a lot of credence to sexualizing. So my advice is try a more sexual approach and see how it works. I used to think a lot of things. I used to think shirtless photos on Tinder, douchey, don't work. Tried it, worked really well. Having a sexual bio, douchey, tacky, doesn't work. It worked quite well. So yeah, I don't know, man. A lot
Right,
of
right. Because it's like it filters right very well. Because that's the thing. Like what I usually get are like nice girls. That actually I was with this girl, one of my fuck buddies. and we were like on her Tinder, right? She's like, okay, this guy is like a shirtless photo or whatever. Swipe left, right? So she's like, you're gonna lose some girls, but you're gonna probably even gain more that are actually down to hook up, right? Is what you're saying. You're
Right.
gonna lose some, but you're gonna gain some, and it's gonna be simpler and easier to get the.
Basically, but I'm not saying
Okay.
that necessarily is the right style. But anyway, man, yeah. So, is there anything else you want to quickly bring up?
Nah, that's it, nah.
All right, cool, bro. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on. This was a good discussion, and
Yeah.
I'll hit you up if I ever come to check again.
Oh yeah, you should definitely, man.
Yeah,
Check some other cities as well. It's
I like that place. Yeah, man, it was fun. I used to go to this. Well, anyway, I don't want to bore the audience, but yeah, man, I'll hit you up if I do come.
yeah. All right, man. Nice talking to you, and
Likewise, bro. Take care.
yeah, take care.
All right. Okay, cool. So that was pretty interesting. It was a good discussion. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think that's basically it. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing that the SJW chick didn't show up. Oh, let me answer this question. When you're saying into the new app that you're working on, I'm releasing it about a month from now. So check my community tab. I made a very detailed post about it. The app that's ways out. We've had so many development problems. We've had developers drop out. So the app is probably like half a year to a year out. But the 2.0 version is about a month out. So yeah. Okay, cool guys. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We're gonna do more of these, and I'll definitely try to get more TikTok SJWs. How do you compose yourself when you're exposed to? I don't know. I just have pretty good control of my emotions, so I can like, even if I get annoyed or pissed off, I can just like stay calm. I guess I think that's part of being a man is just like mastering your emotions, which is really not talked about often enough in the pickup community. I think, unfortunately, but I think there's some. Maybe I should make a video on that, like how to master your emotions, because it's something that I think a lot of guys struggle with. Okay, cool, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Until next time.